We're going to do a roll call at this time. Commissioner, excuse me, gentlemen. Commissioner O'Kelly,
Here.
Commissioner Beisel,
Present.
Vice Chairman Noy,
Here.
and Chairman Nicholson, I am present. Commissioner Wood is not here. And we still have enough people to conduct the forum. All right, so now I would like to ask for a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, motion by Vice Chairman Noy, second by Commissioner O'Kelly. Can we have a vote on that? Commissioner Beisel,
Approved.
Commissioner Russell,
Approved.
Commissioner Vice Chairman Noy,
I approve.
and I approve. That vote carries 4-0. Okay, now I would like to have a motion for the approval of the minutes for the last meeting.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second. Motion made by Vice Chairman Noy, seconded by Commissioner Russell, and we will vote on that. Commissioner Beisel,
Approved.
Commissioner Russell,
Approved.
Vice Chairman Noy,
I approve.
and I approve. That vote carries 4-0. At this time, we will now have presentations to the Planning Commission by Mr. Tabor.
Honorable Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. I'd first, if you don't mind, like to introduce the town's new Deputy Town Manager, Mr. Keith Wynn, and we're so very happy to have him with us. And it's only been a day, but we've had a pleasure working with him and really look forward to his addition and what he will bring to the town of Dumfries.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you being here.
The first information that I would like to share and present to you is a verbal presentation, and it is regarding a small area plan that was identified in the comprehensive plan update. And associated with that, the town is now in the process of identifying a consultant through an RFP process to assist us with developing small area plans for 3 locations identified in the comprehensive plan. One is the Main Street Hub, a second is the waterfront, and the third is the Gateway, which is the southern gateway to the town, and it includes both of the shopping centers on the southern end, as well as all of the development and uses along Grand Park Road and along Route 1 and Main Street. The RFP was advertised starting on August 20th, and proposals will be accepted through September 24th. Once it closes, we will complete the process of evaluating the proposals and then selecting a contractor. And we anticipate an intent to award recommendation by October 21st of this year. Are there any questions regarding that? Great. I will move on to the second item that I would like to share with you, and that is the Route 1 widening project. And included in your packet is a presentation that the Virginia Department of Transportation and Prince William County, who is their contractor, made to the town council in June of this year. And I won't go through every slide. And we will endeavor to, at a future meeting, ask for a representative from VDOT and the county to be present to respond directly to any questions that you might have. Earlier, we had a conversation with one of the commissioners, and they were asking questions about the footprint, the aspects of the pedestrian and pedestrian connections and pedestrian facilities associated with the development. And we would want to provide an opportunity for them to respond to any questions that you might have about the project. So we will endeavor to schedule for them to come to a future meeting to be able to respond to any questions you might have. Just going through the project, let's see, maybe the next slide. Mr. Harris, great. This shows this project schedule that was presented, and it shows a VDOT design public hearing that was back in 2018, and a virtual information meeting that was held in March of 2022. They started the right-of-way process in October of 2023. Utility relocations are anticipated from starting last month and then continuing through August of 2027. They hope to advertise for construction in January of 2028. And they hope to complete the project in December of 2031, so roughly 5 years from now. They do include a community engagement aspect of the project, and it looks like the virtual information meeting was held March of 2022. And they are, I think, still in right-of-way negotiations for the project. We can continue on through the presentation.
Real quick, Mr. Tabor, you said 5 years.
Yes.
Well, if I count that correctly, you said 31.
Yes.
That's actually 6 years.
I'm sorry, 6 years. Yes, I need to learn how to count better.
You know,
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I would have rather than 31 been a misprint.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and we can continue on through the slides. Yeah. And that speaks to the right-of-way acquisition process. And we can go on. And the review process. And then we can go on. Strategies to minimize impacts during construction. And I know that they are proposing a phased development. So they would, I think, complete the west side first and then complete the east side. And my understanding is that the roadway will be operational throughout the development of the project. So lanes would be open for traffic throughout the construction.
Mr. Chair, question. So, Mr. Tabor, when you say west side, you're saying the southbound side or the Main Street portion will be closed first, and then they work on the northbound side of Route 1? How does that work?
So I apologize for not being clear. So I was referencing Fraley Boulevard exclusively. So the west side of Fraley would be the first phase, and they would work on the 3 or so lanes going south along Fraley first, and then they would work on the 3 or so lanes going north on the east side second. But throughout the construction, my understanding is that they will have through traffic.
So Main Street will be the last portion of the project.
Yes, and actually, there will be a closure of the Main Street south of Curtis. And that is the primary aspect of this project on Main Street. I don't believe that the balance of Main Street is associated with this project. This project is exclusively Fraley and the 6 lanes that will be along Fraley.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, so earlier we talked about the small area plans that we're doing, and Main Street and the redevelopment of Main Street after Route 1 is expanded on Fraley will be a consideration of that small area plan. What vision, what goals, what plans we have for Main Street after the current traffic on Main Street as Route 1 is transferred to Fraley.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that cul-de-sac is that area that's going to be cul-de-saced off at the end will be part of this initial construction. Not
Yes,
all of it.
right. And so we can continue on with the slides right quick. Yeah, and so this shows the extent exclusively on Fraley. Next, please. Next slide. Okay. And then the final slide. Yep. And again, we'll reach out to the county and to VDOT to request that they have someone come to provide additional information and to respond to any questions that you might have. Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Harris. And we can move on to the last document and piece of information. It's the Parks and Recreation map. Great. So the last piece of information that I'd like to share with you is this document from the adopted comprehensive plan update. And it shows both existing and planned, proposed, and recommended trails within the town. And it constitutes a pedestrian network, bike and pedestrian network that is proposed for the town within the town's strategic plan adopted by the town council. There is a goal to enhance walkability and make the town a walkable town and increase pedestrian and bike facilities within the town. This, again, is the proposed network that was recommended by the commission and adopted by the council to establish a pedestrian and bike network that will result in a more walkable community and pedestrian-friendly community to achieve the goals that were established. As we move forward, we will be working with the commission and with council to further develop these facilities and the routes and the phasing and the prioritization of these projects. So I wanted to share it with you and ask if you could, begin to look at it, study it, and develop any recommendations or thoughts and ideas that you have regarding the bike and pedestrian plan for the town.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tabor, I know that there were some, I see on here that there is a proposed or recommended future trail along Possum Point. Just as a, I don't know, have we been in contact with Dominion? Because I know they're doing some things back there with the power plant that we can include on some of the trails as well.
Right. So we did recently have a brief conversation with a representative from Dominion, and they did speak to their plans for a connection to both the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail and to planned redevelopment of the ash ponds along Possum Point. And we would definitely want to make any connections, pedestrian connections we have to new park facilities, and hopefully at some point connect to other regional and park county trails and the county trail system. So there is the NEPSCO trail system within the county that we would want to make sure that we connect to as well. So in addition to asking for VDOT and the county to come and respond to any questions, we'll reach out to Dominion and ask if they could come and speak to the commission and provide information on their plans along Possum Point and opportunities to make those pedestrian connections as well.
No, thank you. Mr. Chair, you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else have any questions? Okay.
I just got a couple things. When it comes to the timeline for the Route 1 expansion, it looks like they're going to be starting in 2028. The pedestrian trails, I think, should be moved at least to a finished timeline prior to that construction start, because we will have pedestrians that rely on Route 1 right now as a means to get north and south. And it makes sense to have those same pedestrians walking on a trail instead of through the construction zone. And so with that said, as far as this trail essentially coming from the southern part of town past Williamstown Drive, that being just a dense part of town, 700 or so homes, may be worth having lighting within that part, so it doesn't attract any kind of bad behavior on those trails. I know that with that, I hope that the trails are paved, lit, and then possibly even signage saying, Dumfries, keep it beautiful. Here's some pictures of local wildlife. You've seen regional park signage before, and oftentimes there can be a little something to read. I don't know about benches. If we're going to put a trail north and south, I feel like that itself could be a destination. We've got Marines that exercise right now running into the National Forest Park. I think it'd be really cool to see 5K races, you name it, coming through the town. On that same note, Williamstown Drive, I know we had a project to do some work on that. I don't know where that project stands now, but there is an S-bend as you go past the Powa Church, I believe. And people do sometimes hit that curve 30 miles an hour. We would absolutely want some nice pedestrian signage if the trail is crossing Williamstown Drive right there, just to say, hey, this is a place where, every single day somebody's going to be walking across the street. It doesn't have to be a stop sign. It doesn't have to be, or a stoplight, but certainly, a pedestrian crosswalk.
Great.
And, yeah, aside from that, we also, going back to the Route 1 widening, I know it's beyond the corporate limits, but where Van Buren Road hits, what's that, Mine Road, or I think it's renamed
Batestown.
Batestown.
Mhm.
It does seem like that intersection of Van Buren and Batestown is getting a lot busier. The signage there is not great. And I anticipate a lot of people will be cutting Van Buren to avoid some of the construction, especially coming from 234 south during rush hour. It's already a very busy section. You'll see behind the kebab restaurant, you know, you'll see a lot of 40 cars there at 5 p.m. through 7 p.m. So it is a very, very heavy traffic area, and I think that will get increasingly busier if people are getting jammed up on southbound during the construction phases. So that is Batestown and Van Buren. That's beyond our limit, correct?
It is, but of course, Batestown in Maine is right in the town, as you mentioned, where the restaurant is located.
Correct, yeah. I mean, there could be a stoplight there. I mean, you're looking at a lot of people turning left, having to wait sometimes 5-10 minutes, turning onto Batestown from heading north. So that's sort of my thought is where are people going to go during the construction phase? So if we could plan to, again, have that pedestrian trail finished before the construction starts, and then maybe think about where traffic is going to be trying to cut around the mess. That's what I got.
So are you talking about one particular trail, or are you talking about the trail network?
So the trail actually, my focus is to answer that, is the one that's going behind Dumfries Shopping Plaza, through past Williamstown. It's the Power Line Trail.
Okay.
I consider that to be, because of the power lines, probably the main route. If we were to build a heavily developed pedestrian trail, that's straight north and south, cut all the way to Potomac Shores from there. So, I mean, you're looking at sidewalks on Main Street. You're looking at basically a crosswalk from east to west through Cecil, Garrison, and then neighborhood trails, even going out to the park. But from what I'm looking at here, literally our main trail is the one that's parallel to Old Triangle Road and Main Street. So in between there. It's actually where we've recommended future parks as well. Yeah, so I think that, I mean, like I said, that could be a heavily made trail. It could be a fabulous one. You know, where we've got people biking, walking, benches, police respond buttons.
I actually think that was one of the things that you were saying too about the benches and whatnot. That's a good idea, because with that construction, I feel like that would help alleviate a lot of that for our residents. And now someone trying to drive through, that's a different story. But if we had to pick, because I don't anticipate them wanting to do all this the way things work, so we had to narrow in on one.
If you know that on a bad day during construction, it's going to take you 47 minutes to get to Food Line and back, you might ride your bike.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, and that being said, if we were to try to have that happen, when would that need to be budgeted for? When would the discussion on that aspect to allow? Because right now we really don't have anything concrete to go with. So what budget cycle would we need to be trying to include that trail into?
So I guess we have, an annual budget cycle, and our fiscal years, July to June of each year, and we start the budgeting process in the fall of the preceding year. So within the next month or so, we will be starting the budgeting process for next fiscal year. As soon as possible, we would probably want to start thinking about financing and costs, financing and funding for aspects of the pedestrian network. Again, I guess if we can, if we're like we're discussing now, prioritize and identify aspects of the network that we would want to privilege or start first based on future construction projects or needs, then we should discuss putting them forward. And even if the commission wanted to at a future meeting maybe adopt a resolution recommending prioritization or at least one project moving forward faster, and that the town seek funding for a specific project, then I think that would be helpful to the process. Then related to that, we do have a capital improvement plan, and actually the Planning Commission, in accordance with state code, is supposed to recommend a capital improvement plan. So as part of that process as well, the Planning Commission can identify projects and recommend those to be prioritized and funded through the town's capital improvement plan and capital improvement budget process.
That budget process for that, is that in concurrent with the regular budget?
It is. It has a usually an extended time frame, so it's usually 5 or more years. It can be the projects, but we generally, I think, add projects to that capital improvement budget on an annual basis and through the regular budget process.
So it looks like that would need to, if this were going to happen, say, before that construction kicked off 2028, then it would need to be considered for in next years.
In 27, FY 27.
Yeah, for FY 27
Right,
fiscal
right.
year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that if we're gonna do a trail too, you get really one chance to make it look nice. I think a lot of nicer trails have kind of a north and southbound lane, you could say, so a lane divider sometimes within a trail can make it seem a little nicer. I've also seen trails that aren't just paved black asphalt. You've got maybe multicolored concrete or different features. So, I feel Dumfries, we want it to be a destination town. A nice, safe trail is going to draw people out into the community, walking their dogs, having a good night, especially if there's parks dotted along that trail. If we make the trail simply, a paved little spot that's going to have weeds growing on it, and not as much pride that goes into the trail itself, it may not be as appealing to the community.
Sir. That you good?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
To piggyback on that, all excellent points. I definitely am looking forward to having the presentation with VDOT being here to be able to answer a lot of questions. One question I would ask is, if phase 1 is going to be the western side of Fairleigh Boulevard being developed. On the plan here, they show a planned trail being on there, and I don't remember if that's an 8-foot trail or a 10-foot paved trail.
10.
But it's a shared use trail. I'd be interested in knowing how soon could they have that online to meet that need. The other thing that I would just say as a general statement is I would really enjoy seeing the town developing some design standards that they expect for this development For instance, I think Dominion or VDOT has like one or two approved styles of lighting that they automatically allow. And I'm sure if the town wanted a specialty type light post or something to help signify the historic significance of Dumfries or something like that, that could be approved. But I think the town needs to develop those standards as far as what they want. And also so there's consistency in the design of these. This is many different projects in the town of Dumfries. And I think the one thing that we wouldn't want to see is a hodgepodge of different styles, different colors and like that. So if we could develop standards for the signage, standards for the lighting, standards for benches, it would be helpful in the process. And I realize that's part of the process, but I just want to state that for the record. Mr. Chairman.
Adding to what you were saying about the lights, for example, I believe any trails going through the actual historic district would have to meet a certain standard anyway. But do we, whatever that is, do we want to continue that throughout the rest of the town, even in the trails that are not within the historic district?
I think that would definitely be a question for staff and them looking at what maintenance costs are going to be overall and what works for them. But I know that if we're trying to signify Dumfries as a destination and being someplace special, I would not want a standard VDOT Cobra light on Route 1. And I guess that's my main point, is that if there's a style, we have these standards that we want met and they meet our budget and our needs, then we should state that and make sure that's incorporated in these projects. Because I know that this Route 1 project has been many, many years in the making. And it's taken a lot for town council to get it where it is now, and to get it improved, because I know it went off track there several years back. But to me, it's those little details. And I know you're in construction, so you understand. You got to pay attention to details at the end of the day, or it doesn't come together.
Yeah, sure how. Thank you, sir. Anything else? Nope, I'm good. Thank you. Any other commissioners have anything?
Do not.
Yeah, okay.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. We don't have any new business. No new business.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. The regularly scheduled meeting in October is October 13th, which is a holiday. And I wanted to ask if the commission wanted to select an alternative date for your October meeting.
Are you good with the 6th?
6 works for me.
That'll be the first Monday
First
in
Monday in
October, so October 6th.
So, this item down here is our staff report, administrative report.
No items.
Okay, no items. All right. Well, with that being said, gentlemen, if no one has anything else to add, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:38